You keep breaking your own heart, don't you? Quietly, repeatedly, almost on schedule. Not with drama, not with tears, but with silence. With the decision not to text back, with the dream you delay until it disappears, with the moments when something feels too good to be true. You decide it probably is, and no one sees it. Because self-destruction doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like control. You say you're independent, you say you're focused, you say you don't need anyone. But it's not independence if what you really want is connection, and you just don't believe you deserve it. Mel Robbins calls it self-sabotage, but let's be real. This isn't about laziness or failure. This is grief. Grief for the person you were supposed to become. Grief for the life you almost let yourself have. But every time you get close, you find a way to ruin it. You've made the same promise to yourself 12 times. Next week, I'll really change. Next time, I'll show up differently. But the next time comes. And so does the same hesitation, same fear, same ghosting of your own potential. It's not that you don't know what to do. You know exactly what to do. You just don't believe it will work for you. And that disbelief, it's the most expensive heartbreak of all. There's this guy I went to school with, Mike. Smart, funny, brilliant mind. He had a real shot at something big. But every time opportunity knocked, he'd find a reason to say no. Too early, too late, too unprepared. He told me once, if I never try, I never lose. But what he didn't realize is not trying is the slowest way to lose everything. Mel has this rule, simple but powerful, the 5-second rule. The idea is, when your brain tells you to move, you've got 5 seconds to act before fear talks you out of it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Mike never used it. He thought he needed clarity before courage. But courage is clarity. It's the decision to act before your fear takes over the wheel. You don't self-sabotage because you hate yourself. You do it because somewhere along the way, pain became predictable. And predictable pain feels safer than uncertain peace. You sabotage because you think you're staying safe. But what you're actually doing is staying small. I knew a girl named Danny. She used to wake up, grab her phone, and scroll for hours, just to avoid starting her day. She hated it. Said it made her feel numb. But it was her ritual, familiar, reliable, safe. One day she moved her phone out of the bedroom, put a notebook in its place, woke up, no scrolling, just one sentence. Every day, she told me. It didn't fix everything, but it reminded me I was still here. That's the thing. You don't fix your life in one big moment. You interrupt it, gently, over time. You trade in habits that numb you for ones that notice you. Mel says your brain isn't designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you comfortable, even if comfortable looks like quietly dying in your own routine. You have to break the routine before the routine breaks you. Start by changing one thing, just one. You say you want consistency, but every time you start to build it, you flinch. You ghost your own progress. Not because you don't care, because you don't trust yourself to carry it through. And I get it. How many times have you started something only to watch yourself abandon it mid-sentence? That erosion of self-trust is slow, but it's deep. Mel talks about confidence as a repetition of kept promises. You don't need discipline as much as you need evidence, proof that your word means something again. Let me tell you what I started doing. 1 glass of water before I check my phone. That's it. No goals, no streaks, Just one glass to say, I'm not breaking myself before the day begins. And it matters, because the things you do when no one's watching are the ones that build who you become. You don't need a transformation. You need a tiny win you actually believe in. That's how you rebuild trust, quietly, repetitively, lovingly. You say you're afraid of failing, but really, you're afraid of becoming, because what happens if you finally do it? What happens if the version of you that works becomes real? It means you can't hide anymore. You can't say maybe later, when later becomes now. Mel calls this the fear of success. And it's real, because success doesn't just give you more, it asks more of you. There was this woman I worked with once, Alyssa. She had an incredible story, a beautiful voice, and a book she wanted to write. But every time she started, she'd delete the draft. Not because it was bad, but because writing it meant owning it. And that meant being seen. I asked her one day, "Why do you keep stopping?" She said, "Because if I finish it, people might expect me to keep going." That's it. You're not afraid you'll fail. You're afraid you'll change. And you'll have to live as someone who no longer fits in your old life. But here's the thing. Your future isn't here to embarrass your past. It's here to honor it by growing beyond it. Self-destruction is lonely. Not because people don't love you, but because you keep giving them the version of you that needs nothing. You say you're strong. But sometimes strength is just what we call the armor we were never allowed to take off. You say, I got it. You say, I'm fine. But how long can you keep being fine before you forget what better feels like? There's this quote Mel shared that hit me hard. You can't hate yourself into a version you love, but you try. Through hustle, through punishment, through perfection. You try to earn peace by beating yourself into someone who deserves it. But that's not healing. That's war. And the truth is, no one else can save you from that war. But you don't have to fight it alone either. Let someone in. Even if you just start with honesty, even if it's just this. I'm tired of pretending I'm okay. So, what now? You've seen the cycle. You've felt the heartbreak. You know the pattern: delay, deny, destroy. But here's the moment that matters. The moment you decide. Not to be perfect, not to be fearless, just to stop running. There's this moment Mel talks about. A window of 5 seconds where your instincts scream yes, but your fear starts whispering no. You can catch that window. You can move before you disappear into your old patterns. Drink the water. Write the sentence. Say what you actually mean. Answer the call. Forgive the old you. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. You keep breaking your own heart. But maybe that's because you've never been taught how to hold it. So here it is. Your permission to stop. To take the smallest possible step in the direction of a life that doesn't hurt to carry. You don't need a plan. You need a beginning. And if no one's told you this, yet this is it. This is your sign. To stop choosing the pain that feels familiar and reach for the peace that feels foreign. Because peace won't come find you, but it will meet you halfway. All it needs is for you to stop running and turn around.